فيني أنا. تمام؟ أنه قال خواب، أخاف من منو؟ أنا ما عندي حاجة لزول، واللي بيشتريني لسه ما ولدوه. تتأكدي من الكلام ده، وانت عارف تعرفين أنا جيدا. لكن بتحاولوا أنه تضللوا الشعب. يعرف ولفظكم انتوا زي القحاتة، حتمشوا إلى الجحيم وإلى مزبلة التاريخ، وحنحرر دارفور كله. هنحرر نحن كشعب السوداني، ما كجيش بس، كشعوب سودانية، جيش السودان، وليس جيش الحركة الإسلامية، وليس جيش الكيزان. والكيزان بيقوا أرجل منكم ب1000 سنة ضوئية. مش احنا طلعنا ثورة وسقطنا الكيزان بيقوا أرجل منكم بجد في معركة الكرامة دي. لو عندهم مصلحة ما عندهم مصلحة، الكيزان بيقوا أرجل منكم، بيقوا أرجل منكم. في كيزان بتاع الجنجويد ديلك ناس حسبوا كايلين السلاح مع الجيش. انا ما قدرك عشان تجي تلعبي وتجي تكذبي انه ده خواف. اخاف من منو؟ يتكلم في سيدي قال لي اكثر من 15 سنه هرب من الميدان وما قادر يرجع، لانه صف الناس، والناس هناك اهلنا مهددين انه لو جا راجع هيصفوه، عشان كده خواف. وده هو رئيس الحركه قاعد يخاطب جيشه بالتليفون اكثر من 15 سنه يتكلمي فيه، لكن ما بتقدري. على كل حال انا داير ارسل رساله، يا ريت برضو الناس ما تفتح المايك، لانه انا داير ارسل نفس الرساله القبيل باللغه الانجليزيه بالنسبه ل كوارتيت او كواد. المهم اوكي. Hello, my name is Joinkwe. I am a Sudanese citizen residing right now here in Canada. I would like to say a few words regarding the Quad joint statement that was released on Friday, September the 12th. And I'm talking about Quad or Quartet, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. In your joint statement, you mentioned that there is no viable solution to there is no viable military solution to the conflict in Sudan. And you also said that for the conflict to end, any external support to both parties must end. And you also said that the RSF and Sudanese armed forces, there must be a negotiation, and they must sit down to solve this problem or to end the conflict. I just want to clarify 3 points. And I do know that what I am about to say represents the absolute majority of the people of Sudan. I do know. Okay, so number one, this war or this conflict in Sudan is not between the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces. This war is between the Sudanese people and the RSF or the Rapid Support Forces militia, the terrorist organization. Why do I say that? Because the Janjaweed militia, I mean, by the way, their true name is the Janjaweed militia. So the Janjaweed militia or the mercenaries of RSF, they are not just targeting the Sudanese armed forces. They are targeting the Sudanese people. They are committing crimes against the Sudanese people. And the evidence is out there. The videos are out there. The international human rights organizations, they reported that. And even including the Quad or Quartet, you know very well that the Janjaweed militia, they are the ones committing all sorts of crimes in Sudan They are killing the Sudanese people. They are raping our women. They are looting our banks, our property, and they are occupying our hospitals. They are occupying our homes. They are occupying our lands, and they are committing all sorts of crimes, including burying alive children, kidnapping girls and women. By the way, for your information, these Janjaweed militia, or which are now called Rapid Support Forces, they are the same militia that have been committing crimes in Darfur. And the former US Secretary of State, Colin Powell, was one of the first to admit that what is going on in Darfur is genocide. And indeed, it's a genocide, because these militia, the Rapid Support Forces militia, or the Janjaweed militia, have been killing the people of Darfur just because of their ethnicity. They have been killing the black people of Darfur since 2003, and they have killed hundreds of thousands by the testimony of the United Nations. They have killed hundreds of thousands of civilians. They committed crimes of war, and they're still committing, by the way, war crimes, crimes against humanity, ethnic cleansing, genocide, mass rape, and also they burned villages. And they are still doing all of these crimes. They forced or expelled our indigenous black communities from their villages. And right now, as I am talking, I am one of the victims of the Janjaweed. Right now, as I am talking, there are over 175 internally displaced persons camps, IDP camps in Sudan, in Darfur, as well as refugee camps in the neighboring countries like Chad or Central Africa, Kenya, Uganda. And the reason they are still staying there for over 20 years is that they cannot go back to their original homeland, because the Janjaweed militia, the mercenaries, they are still there. They are still kidnapping women, committing all sorts of crimes, and the people of Darfur will never be able to go back to their original homeland unless the Janjaweed militia are disarmed. The Janjaweed militia are the same as Rapid Support Forces until RSF militia are disarmed and the new settlers are expelled. And what we, the Sudanese people, are doing today, we are defending our country. We are defending our people. We are trying to disarm the Janjaweed. We are trying to expel the new settlers from the lands of the indigenous peoples of Darfur. So I want you to understand that this war, as I said earlier, is not between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces. It's between the Sudanese people and the Rapid Support Forces militia. And we, the people of Sudan, regardless of our differences, we put all our differences aside, whether differences in political party or in ideology, we put all our differences aside. That's why you see the Sudanese people everywhere saying one army, one nation, Jayshun Wahid, Sha'bun Wahid. Why? Because right now we are not talking about any political stuff. We are not talking about anything else. We have one common goal: to eradicate the Janjaweed militia from Sudan, to wipe out the Rapid Support Forces militia from Sudan. Or if they surrender to the Sudanese armed forces, then that's the end of the war. But as long as the Rapid Support Forces militia are there, carrying guns, killing the Sudanese people, committing all of these crimes against the Sudanese people, we will never stop fighting, because we are we are seeking for peace. We are looking for peace. But the Janjaweed, they are the ones, they are the mercenaries. They came from Chad, from Central Africa, from African Republic, Central African Republic, from Mali, from Niger, from Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Libya. They are coming to in Sudan and they are killing the Sudanese people. So what we are doing, we are simply defending ourselves. We are defending our women. We are defending our country. We are not committing any crime. We are not going anywhere to wage war. We want peace. But the true peace will come to Sudan in Sudan when the Janjaweed militia are defeated, or after, or if they surrender to the Sudanese armed forces. There is no other way. And we, the people of Sudan, as I said, we are all united like never before. And don't let anyone deceive you by telling you that the war, I mean, those who are supporting the Sudanese armed forces are but Muslim Brotherhood. That's a lie. Muslim Brotherhood is part of the Sudanese people, yes. But those who are supporting the Sudanese armed forces, they are the Sudanese people, all the Sudanese people, regardless of their religions. For example, I am from Darfur. I have nothing to do with Muslim Brotherhood. I am not a supporter of Muslim Brotherhood. I am not, I have nothing to do with the Muslim Brotherhood regime, by the way. In fact, I hate the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood. Not only that, I'm not even a Muslim. I am a Christian, but I am still supporting the Sudanese armed forces and all those who are fighting alongside the Sudanese armed forces, like the joint forces and the popular resistance and others who are fighting alongside the Sudanese armed forces, because Sudan is facing existential threat. It's not the Sudanese armed forces that are targeted. We are targeted at the Sudanese people, with our families, with our people. The evidence is out there. So we are the Sudanese people, with all our differences, from the north, from the south, from the west, from the east, from the middle, Muslims, Christians, non-believers, Arabs, Africans, different political backgrounds. We have united like never before. And right now we have one common goal. Just to to eradicate the Janjaweed militia. We are never going to allow them to continue killing our people. The war that started in Sudan, on the 15th of April 2023, it's not new. The Janjaweed militia have been committing the same crimes in Darfur for over 20 years. So this is the point number one. I want you to understand that the war, it's the Sudanese people who are supporting their national army. And you will see evidence today. Everywhere the Sudanese people will come out and they will tell the world that they are supporting their national army, the Sudanese armed forces. For many of the Sudanese people, they have differences, but we put all our differences aside, because Sudan, there's existential threat to Sudan. That's point number one. Point number two, you also mentioned that all external support to the two parties, and you mean the Rapid Support Forces and the Sudanese Armed Forces, you said that all external support must end. I want to say again that this war is between the Sudanese people and RSF, the mercenaries. So we, the Sudanese people, we do have a right to defend ourselves, to defend our land, and to defend our people, our country. And nobody has a right to stop us to do so. We have a right to defend our country, and we will defend our country. Moreover, we have a right to get military support, external military support, in order to protect our country. We are a sovereign nation. So the Janjaweed militia are mercenaries coming from many countries, and they are attacking us, and they are supported by many countries. So instead of saying that all external military support must end to both parties, I want you to we just want you to, if you truly want to end the war, simply, you know very well those countries that are supporting RSF. You know them very well. So if you truly want to end the war in Sudan, tell them to stop the war. Tell them to stop supporting RSF. Who is supporting the Janjaweed militia? There are supporters, but number one supporter, the evidence is out there, is United Arab Emirates. You know very well. So tell the United Arab Emirates to stop supporting the RSF, and the problem will be over. As simple as that. If you truly want to end this war. Other than that, the problem will never end until we, the Sudanese people, defeat the Janjaweed militia. And we are ready to fight and fight and fight until the last Janjaweed militia. Until the last member, or until they surrender to the Sudanese people, until they surrender to the Sudanese armed forces. Point number 3, you also said that the Sudanese, there is no viable military solution to the conflict. I just want to say something. If you want to end the war in Sudan, it's very simple. You know who is killing the Sudanese people, and you know who is defending the Sudanese people. The Rapid Support Forces, RSF, they are the ones killing the Sudanese people, committing all of these crimes. On the other hand, the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, they are the ones not committing crimes, but they are the ones, defending the Sudanese people. They are the ones protecting our country, our women. That's why the Sudanese people are supporting their their armed forces. So if you want to end this war, it's very simple. Just tell RSF to stop killing the Sudanese people. Just categorize RSF as a terrorist organization and tell them to stop killing the Sudanese people, and the conflict will end. It's very simple. But let me repeat again, as long as the Rapid Support Forces militia continue to kill the Sudanese people, we will never just be watching. We will defend our country, and we do have a right to defend our country until victory, and victory is for the Sudanese people. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you that you want to help us to solve this problem or to end this conflict. Thank you.
الله
شكرا. اتمنى انه انا ما نسيت، اتمنى انه يتكبشر، لكن حتى لو ما يتكبشر، لانه انا نسيت عشان اقول للناس.
انا كبشرت ويتكبشر، وفي ناس ثانيه كبشر.
اوكي، ضروري جدا. ايوه، لانه دايرين ننشر، لازم ننشر لكل العالم. لا بد نرسل رساله لكل العالم عشان يعرف انه حقيقه المعركه. هنا يا اخواننا الاعلام عنده دور كبير، لانه في ناس بعملوا التضليل للعالم، لكن داير نأكد انه نحن كشعوب سودانيه قادرون ان نهزم هذه الميليشيا الارهابيه اعلاميا وميدانيا، وما في قوه على الارض بتجيب قدام.
ممكن تترجم لنا؟
وشكرا كمان للناس اللي الداعم. شكرا لكم كثير، شكرا لكل
يا
الداعمين،
عبد
شكرا لكم.
الرؤوف،
نعم.
انت غيرت قميصك ولا شنو؟
ها؟
والله الرساله دي شنو عباره عن شنو؟ ممكن تشرحها لي؟ انا الله انا قاعد في السوق بشرب لي في شاي.
انت ما سمعت الرساله باللغه العربيه؟
يا اخي ما بفهم انجليزي انا يا الحبيب.
لا انا قلت لك انا
رسالة
جبال.
بالعربي يا اخوي، فيش ناس يا اخوي.
لا معلش، انا قلت لك جبال انا رسلت الرساله باللغه العربيه، انت سميت ولا ما سميت؟
ما كان قاعد.
انت ما كان قاعد. اوكي، الرساله دي كالاتي